What is up, everybody? We got another episode of the Grand Line Grinders podcast here. I'm Da Halfreed, and I'm here with my great compatriots, my fellow crewmates. It's not Steven and Kebby G. How you guys doing? How about you, Steven?
Really good, man. Really good. Yeah, it's very warm where I am. And I'm a very warm person, so I'm really feeling the heat at the moment. Also been addicted to rematch this past week, but still excited to talk about the tier list. How are you doing, Kevin?
All right, so yeah, I'm doing quite well, and we're gonna breeze right through the ranked part because we're gonna be talking about the top tier list of leaders. So the rank power rankings, we're literally just gonna talk about new decks that have merged and slight adjustments, and then we're gonna rush through that and get into the tier list because it's gonna take a while. So let's go ahead and dive right into that. So noticeably, the only thing that I really want to highlight here is Green Red Smoker making its way up. And Bella Betty, I guess, going all the way up. Because Buggy was there last time, and Buggy kind of fell. Really only the big adjustments. What do you guys want to talk about regarding this?
Smoker has really exploded, and it's kind of interesting. Every time I try and play the deck, it never works out for me, and I have a million off curve characters, and I'm a 4-life leader, and I just die. And every time I play against it, my opponent just goes Smoker Tashigi into, into Smoker plus Mulligan into Hody Jones, and I just die. And
It's crazy.
It definitely seems like you need to be aggressive in this format, and a lot of the Smoker lists are really leaning on that. And Mulligan is a hell of a card, let me tell you what.
Yeah, Mulligan, especially in Smoker, where it's essentially 2 Dawn, is crazy strong. It's just a very explosive deck. It's cut from the same cloth as Bella Betty in a very different way. But it's just another deck that it goes really hard, really early.
I would say it's closer.
Just very well against Luffy's.
I would say it's closer to something like Whitebeard, and when it comes to what kind of aggressive plan it has. It is weird, though, that the most optimal list now is playing 16 searchers. 16 slots are dedicated to 1-drop searchers. You have 4 of the Navy, 4 and 4 of the Namis, and you have 4 of Virgo. It's crazy. So, literally, turn 1, they always have a 1-drop searcher. You can't whiff. It's crazy. And then Bonnie went up a little bit. You think Bonnie's doing better now? Finally?
Yeah, Bonnie's still really consistent, but the biggest thing is that Bello Betty is very clearly the Luffy Slayer. There just is not a Luffy that has a good matchup against Bello Betty. I think maybe only Mono Purple Luffy is close, but if you're playing Luffy, you're scared to see Bello Betty 100%. And currently the deck that's best at killing Bello Betty is still Bonnie. Buggy has a good matchup too there with the 7-drop Buggy, but Buggy has to find the 7-drop Buggy, and Bonnie just has to use its leader effect every turn, and that alone is really bad for Bello Betty. So
I think it's kind of humorous. I think they adjusted their deck to the point where they could beat purple, but now they lose to Zoro.
Yep.
It's kind of funny because now they literally beat Grape, Oil, and Purple Luffy. All 3 of them get beat by Bonnie now. So Gum must not be. That was always
a pretty close matchup anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, 54%. All right, that's Grape. 73% against Oil Luffy. It's hammering on Oil Luffy.
Yeah, it does super well in that deck.
So that's the biggest. I think the biggest shocker is the fact that it's doing so well into Purple.
Hody Jones just really good against Gum Giant, of course. That's a big thing. Sorry, you were saying, Steven?
Yeah, it does a lot better into the Katakuri build than ever. The Luffy Tara matchup was still a little touch and go, especially if Purple Luffy got to go first. I think it was Purple Luffy favored. Mm-hmm. But with the Katakuri deck becoming more and more popular with Purple Luffy players, Bonnie just naturally is going to have a better time because it's less bodies on board.
Yeah. I just did a big deck tech on Bonnie, and I do also really like the deck. It's you have some matchups that are really bad for you, Zoro's not great. It's winnable, but the really bad ones are Blue Purple Luffy, Blackbeard, and Lucci. But like if you can dodge those 3 decks, it's like really good for you. You're in a really good spot. And the Kid Killer Searcher just helps so much with consistently making sure you find your Cavendishes, find your 8-drop kids. And the second half of the killer effect that lets you sacrifice it to untap a Dawn is so powerful. It allows you to activate your leader ability in many situations where you might otherwise not be able to. And it's really cool, especially the way it interacts with the cards that would rest Bonnie's Dawn. If you have a Kid Killer in play, you're guaranteed to get your leader effect off no matter what. They can't Hody Jones to rest your Dawn. They can't Chopper to rest your Dawn, because you can untap the Dawn with Killer and then instantly use your leader right away before they can ever interact with it. Like, the only way to stop it from happening is to KO the Killer, because if you attack into it, they still just sacrifice the Killer and stop the attack.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I guess his worst matchup is technically basically non-existent now.
Yep.
Shanks. So Shanks is kind of so far gone. So, is there anything else you want to quickly address before we move on to the tier list?
I'm a little surprised that Teach made it back on, considering how bad Teach feels against most of the Luffy decks. But
I was surprised that Oil Luffy win rate's dropping a lot, but
yes,
it has a silly amount of games, and I imagine it's a lot of new people picking the deck up. And it can be a little bit difficult to pilot at the start, just when you're trying to figure out exactly how the deck works. So it's not the easiest pick up and play. So I understand that. I would expect the win rate to go back up next week to maybe as close to like 50,
I think out of the purple
but
Luffy decks, it's probably the second hardest or the hardest. It's that or grape. That or grape is probably the hardest. I would say purple Luffy and then blue purple Luffy is probably the easiest to learn.
The funny thing is that like Black Purple Luffy is the most deceptive, where a lot of people have a very one-track mind with it, where they just like get Beer Luffy into play, attack, and they like think that that's going to be enough to win. And I feel like a lot of people leave themselves open way too often to just dying out of nowhere, especially the versions that don't play the Katakuri blocker. And it definitely is surprising to see it fall from first place in win rate to 6th place. But I think it has to do with what Steven said, that like in the first few days, the only people playing the deck were the people who really knew it, really understood it, and like really had good innovative deck list ideas. And now once everybody else is picking it up, they're
following
kind of not doing as hot,
doing and trying it out. Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, I think there's not too much movement there that we wouldn't expect. And maybe it's Bonnie being that high up. I am a little surprised because of how bad the matchup is in the Snake Man. But otherwise, there's still 3 of the top 4 decks are Luffy.
The top 7 slots seem pretty solid in terms of where they're going to be for the next couple weeks.
All right, you guys ready to dive into the tier list?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've already kind of filtered out some of these really bad the decks that we don't really think are going to show up anywhere up here. So the first playable deck is Grape.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
S
sure
plus.
This is Grape. Yep,
100% S plus.
S plus, probably the best deck in the format.
Second most playable is Zoro. Is this A plus, A, or B plus?
I think it's somewhere between A and A plus for me.
I think it's at least A plus. Like, 100% can make Top Cut. Like that will make Top Cut every other regionals.
It's really consistent. I mean, like I found this and I posted it in our group chat, and I'll link it hopefully for it to be in the description of the podcast as well. There was this really great spreadsheet of like full matchup data in a like more broken down and stats way than they have it in the ranked like snapshot thing. And I just wanted to say that Green Purple Luffy was like by far the most winningest deck in terms of straight up win rate against everything. So that's really like the deck to beat right now. It's just the most consistent, the most powerful thing around.
Next on our list is blue Dofi.
I think this deck sucks.
You think
This is like locals or can top locals for me.
It can definitely top locals. I think it can go like 4-0. And maybe regionals. You'll see like 1 or 2, but probably can top locals.
The popularity... yeah, you can top locals, but the biggest problem is if you go to locals and you don't expect to play against Buggy, you're kidding yourself.
Yeah.
And Doflamingo cannot beat Buggy in a million years, dude.
That would be their huge deciding change. Where do you guys think Whitebeard is in this current meta?
Like A+ or A.
Yeah.
Are you leaning more can top cut or regionals level, like top 64?
I think if it gets a good run, it can top cut. So I think it kind of has to be A+. If it just comes up against a bunch of, Blackbeard or Snake Luffy, I think it can just bonk them down. So I think it can. I think it's probably A+.
Yeah, it's one of the worst A+ decks, but I think it is there.
Yeah.
Next most playable deck is Smoker.
B.
Locals, yeah, B.
B+.
Really, not that good.
We did skip over a few. Like I think
Law is somewhat playable.
I still expect to see it at regionals. I think it's better than Dofi. So I think
definitely
it's probably pretty good.
And it's good against green purple, which is its biggest strength.
I don't care what you guys say. Garp is going in Fun Rogue.
Sure.
He's my pet deck.
Yeah.
This looks like a ace deck. I'm not sure.
Ace.
Locals at best.
Yeah.
Worse Whitebeard. You get to play all the good Whitebeard cards without the good Whitebeard leader effect.
Is this Nami?
It's Nami, yeah.
Blue Nami.
I think Nami's definitely regionals level.
Maybe A+.
Yeah, it's definitely if you're going to play it up against it at regionals because a lot of people
100%.
Are like die-hard Nami fans. They play nothing but Nami their entire lives. They eat, breathe, and sleep that deck, and
they're very good at it.
Is this Black Lucci?
Yeah, but it's the first one. It's like a fun rogue deck. Yeah, it's not the mill one.
It's not the good one.
No.
Okay.
Katakuri can probably top locals.
Green, blue, Dofi. Is that what we're talking about?
No,
it's like a B or B+.
Yeah, it's probably B deck. There is Katakuri next to Lucci, which I think...
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the...
It's better than blue Dofi, I think.
Yeah, but not regionals level. You're not going to top 64 with this deck, most likely.
No.
Okay, what about Queen? Everyone wants to know about Queen. I'm joking.
No, Queen's so bad. If you ever pick up Queen, just play a Nell. Oh, Bello Betty is probably it's S or S+. It's
I think
Bello Betty is the second most winningest deck in the format right now. It has the second highest win rate. Even in its bad matchups, if you curve out and the going second curve of Searcher into Ivankov, play a guy, into Koala, play a guy, is just you're dead. You're so dead if you don't have Raging Tiger that turn.
All right.
It's definitely either S or S+.
Okay, this is blue-green Rosazante, which I believe we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I think it's better than people think. It's like a Doflamingo level deck.
Yeah.
You think it's Doflamingo level?
Yeah, the new card from Extra Booster is actually really, really good.
It is good.
And it is the best deck for Kid. I faced it, and it's basically unstoppable. Literally, if there is somebody that can get over the top and you can't save the Kid, you just take the block and take a life. It's my gosh. Ploofy. S or S+?
I think Purple Luffy is my last S+ deck. My current tier list has Green Purple Luffy, Bello Betty, and Purple Luffy as the S+ decks, and everything else below it. Because these three decks are so consistent.
I think it's probably S tier because I think it's just. I think it's a smidge worse than Grape.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's pretty close to objectively worse than Grape, and I
Yeah.
think it's S tier for me.
So the question more would be:
I just think it's a smidgen better than blue purple and a decent amount better than black purple.
The question is, how many of these are you expecting to see in every single top 8?
At least one, probably
Yeah.
2.
Okay,
So
then it's S plus.
Yeah.
If it's in every single one, it's S plus. If it's likely,
Yeah.
it basically will show up one time, then miss one to show up again. So it would be S plus.
Yeah.
And now,
I just think that like the deck list for purple Luffy has gotten so extremely polished and down to like the same game plan every single turn, especially the lists that have like they have 4 Bond Clay, 4 of the Miss Double Finger, and sometimes they'll also play like what is it, like Hawkins or the some other ramp effect.
Regime dot or whatever.
Yeah, they just always try and ramp to 8-drop Katakuri as fast as possible, and they just play that and beat people down with Gum Gum Giant. It's just like it does everything you want to do this format, which is it's aggressive, has a good blocker, and then on top to top it all off can use Gum Gum Giant.
so how you guys feeling about an L?
Probably regionals. One.
Yeah.
You always run into 1 or 2 at regionals.
When I was looking at the stats list, Enel was one of the decks that I was surprised actually had above a 50% win rate. It's like not that easy to do with that many games, but Enel did have an above 50% win rate, which was pretty cool.
Where do you guys see Yamato?
It's between A and B plus for me.
Yeah. I think bottom of A tier.
Yeah,
I still don't think the best Yamato deck's been figured out just yet.
correct.
Deck depending, it could definitely move up to A plus, but right now it's just not quite it. The list I've seen with like either the Supernova package or like Superland of Wano, don't quite seem to get there. They just don't quite seem to do enough right now.
I'm gonna say A tier because based off even this, like it literally is showing up here. So clearly it's getting enough play rate that is showing up in the actual rank, this section here. So clearly it's played enough to fit into regionals. You're going to see it at regionals because it's seeing that much play. And plus it has a huge pet deck following.
Yeah, that for sure.
Now Reiju is going to fit somewhere probably in here. Where do you guys see?
I think Reiju again was like Reiju has significantly more win percentage than you think. Like a lot. Reiju was like 4th in overall win percentage or something like that. It was really surprisingly high.
I think it's kind of the same as the Nami though, right? Where a lot of people will only basically play Reiju, or the people that play Reiju have got like significant experience with it.
Yeah.
I think it's still probably A tier at best. You will still say a couple of regionals do like pretty well.
It's kind of why I have it around here, because it is a very, very cheap deck. So you're going to see it a lot in locals, right? Guaranteed. Now, at the same time, it probably has the win rate where somebody that might qualify and want to go to regionals with it just because of the fact that it is cheap.
A little bit of a spoiler here, but there's a tournament going on right now while we're recording this podcast, and there's a 8-0 Reiju.
Okay, so A plus.
So I'm just like, there's a little bit of a spoiler, like looking into the future, but like the funny thing is too, I talked to like a Reiju fan who's like a Reiju fanboy fanatic. He also said like an interesting thing he said is the black purple matchup is completely free for Reiju because they just stay at 4 Dawn the entire game, and therefore Beer Luffy never makes leader +2.
That's a respect.
Yeah.
So are we thinking bottom A plus? Or are we thinking top A?
Yeah, I think it's either the best A tier deck or a A plus deck, but I think it's A for now.
Okay.
I think the Reijus that do well are carried by the pilot.
I think
rather
Enel
than the
is
deck
second
being
best.
that strong.
I think it's more like this.
Yeah.
For there.
That's fine.
So moving on looks like Bonnie's the next competitive list. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong because I don't really know these all arts. So if you see one that I have passed that is that should get respect, point it out.
I think Bonnie can top cut.
I think it is either S or it is A+.
Yeah.
Probably A plus for now.
Yeah, I like it between those two.
Yeah. I will say Gecko, honestly, I still think Gecko can top locals or maybe even say originals.
Yeah, we'll come back for the second round. This one's strictly targeting the best decks in the game.
Yeah.
So Lucci, is it A+, S, or is it regionals?
You're going to see Lucci at regionals, but I don't think you're going to see Lucci in top cut that often because that's another deck that is like the people who play the deck are good. The deck itself is not that great right now, especially since it has a kind of losing matchup into, once again, every Luffy deck, which is a hard place to be right now.
Vegapunk. This deck did show up quite a bit in top 10 ranks.
I think it's significantly worse now than it was during ABO2. So it's probably can top locals, maybe it's bottom of A tier.
Yeah, I think it's can top locals. It's still very consistent.
Yeah.
Is Marco worth talking about?
Yeah.
I think it's regionals. I think it's A tier. I think it's still pretty solid. There's the Animal Kingdom package, which is pretty good. And then it can still do Sanji into like other players, which is
it's slightly worse Zoro.
Garrett did manage to get reasonably placed in one of the events, like Eggman's.
There's just Eggman's 128-man event, but you can top locals with it.
Yep.
I think put Gecko Moria into top locals as well.
Yep. However, one did go X2 during the last regionals. It just missed out on top cut due to win percentage.
Yep.
I think
it's still definitely a deck to look out for.
I think it's one of the best B+ tier decks, but I would still put it there. Maybe the best B+ tier deck.
Shanks, probably the best B+.
Yeah.
Even high roll stage is still super good, but like it's too inconsistent.
This is the deck we're talking about earlier, I believe.
Yeah, it's tough for me whether Kalgara is B+ or A. I think Kalgara will be A in OP12 because with the new OP12 cards it gets, those are like a significant upgrade. But right now it's still a little risky.
Is it better than Dofi?
Yes.
Is it better than this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's between.
It's probably worse than Moria though. I think right now I'd do Shanks Moria then Kalgara. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lim. It was a good deck. Is it still?
Yeah, so much worse now. Can top locals.
I haven't spoken to anyone who plays a lot of Lim right now. I still think it's better than people give it credit for because it still goes very quick, very early.
Yep.
I'm hesitant to say it's probably worse than Marco. It's probably worse than Caldara.
So it's either,
but it's.
So is it?
I don't know. I don't know exactly where Lim lies right now. It is probably we can put it in B plus for now.
Yeah.
I think it's still slightly slept on a little bit.
Boogie S.
I think A+.
I think probably A+.
Buggy, not S+, definitely not. I think Buggy's like A+ or S, but Buggy's biggest problem is it has a bad matchup against the best deck in the format, which is green-purple.
Yeah.
Oil Luffy. A+, S.
Probably S. I think it's probably S tier.
Yeah.
It's likely
I think
probably the worst S tier deck, but still really good.
Yeah, I think it's still better than Zoro.
No, Zoro's Teach is definitely not S. It's like A or maybe A+, but I think it's an A tier deck right now.
I think it's A+. I think it's bottom of A+. Because again, when the really good players jump on it on regionals, it's just one of those decks where it's so hard to play.
The new cards are good too.
Yes, the block of Kuzan is super duper good. I'm a big fan of that card.
I've actually been really annoyed by the 7-drop too. It's been very annoying.
I'm pretty sure this is green, yellow law.
It is. I locate one. It's at least A+. I'm super tempted to say S.
I think it's A+ tier deck though. I think it's better to be safe. I think you put Smoker at A+ as well.
Yeah. Again, I feel like the best Smoker deck's not quite being developed yet.
Yeah, I like that.
That's right.
Very good deck.
Whitebeard's probably the worst A+ tier deck, but
Yeah.
Smoker is forever going to be the deck that I will never win with, but it will always beat me. Just like, I don't know why, but that's just how it is.
It's your bogey
Usopp.
deck.
Is it A?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, a little marker. I'm happy with that.
Has enough of a high roll and some really... what its biggest strength being it's good against green purple Luffy and kind of against Bello Betty as well.
I think Yellow Kid is still honestly maybe his regionals level.
Is that this one here?
Yeah. I don't think it's far off.
I think it's B+ right now.
Isn't this purple red kid?
No, the one next to Sugar is Yellow Kid.
It's Sugar and then Kid and then some weird card that I can't even tell what it is.
I think that's Promo Uta.
Oh wow, Jesus.
You sure this is yellow kid? It looks like it was.
Yeah, that's
it is.
It looks purple and red.
I think it's a B+ tier deck. I think it's around like Kalgara level.
Yeah.
So better than Lim?
It's fine there. I think it's probably not.
Very hard to beat. Blue purple is the biggest problem with that deck.
Red purple Luffy.
Red purple Luffy.
It's so rough.
It's at least locals. It's a really weird deck. It should be good. It should be better than it is. Like, unironically, like you ramp into Shanks or other good stuff that purple and red have access to. But when you play, you just kind of end up dying randomly. And so this the biggest problem with the deck right now is why am I not just playing one of the other better Luffy decks?
Yeah, that's why it's lower. And it still has 3 life. I mean, if it had 4 life, you could maybe argue it could be playable.
Yeah, but it's just like if you're a 3 life leader and you look at blue purple Luffy, it's like, okay, I'm a 3 life leader and I draw an extra card every turn. I'm a 3 life leader and I get 1 extra Dawn every turn. It's like those two things are not the same.
So blue purple Luffy, S or S+?
S tier.
S. Probably better.
Probably better than Boogie.
Yep. Definitely less oppressive. Like, it's in a lot of games, but it is winning significantly less in the English meta than it was in Japan. Like, the win percentage over here is significantly worse for the deck than it was over there.
Purple Katakuri.
My hot take is it's probably A+. Like, I really think it's a very good deck. I know. I do think it's a very good deck. It's just...
The issue is
I don't think enough people play it.
Answer me this question really quick. Answer me this question, Steven, and I need to know.
Okay.
Would you play Purple Katakuri if the 8-drop Katakuri was banned?
No.
That's why. It's like, I don't know. I feel like the deck has one good card. That's my problem with it. It's a really good card. Don't get me wrong, but
you can't. I want to say this. If it does high roll and you're able to get like the Parasparrow out super early game, you can constantly ramp and you get into the 8-drop Katakuri like into 10 mom. It's a really good deck. It is a really, really good deck, and I don't think it's got anywhere near enough play to kind of represent how good it is. But I don't know if that's like, I don't think it's cope. Like, I really think it's a very strong deck.
Yep.
But I don't have any evidence to show that it's a very strong deck right now. I honestly think it's at least A tier though. Like, I think it's a strong deck. But
I'd put it in B+, but you'll have to ship me a deck list and I'll play it on stream and see if I can prove you right or wrong.
I'll touch on this. That'll be my homework for this week. It'll be a Katakuri list, and we'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
Sounds good.
I was thinking B because I don't think it's going to be that common at your locals.
It's not going to be that common, but it's going to be surprised how many people get beat up by it. I think that's for sure.
I mean, is it really better than red purple Luffy? Like,
yes.
It's better than Dove. I think it's better than blue Dove.
It's better than every deck that's in B tier right now for sure.
I put it like above Lim I'd probably put it next to the category for now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm a
I
fan
would
of that
move
deck
the yellow
when
Katakuri down to B. I think that deck sucks and always has sucked, but that's my hot take.
I could take that. I mean, there
I-
could be room for only one category in a tier. So.
Dude, I will never forgive the people in set 3 that were calling for 10 mom bans. It just looks so ridiculous in comparison to the cards we have now, but it's whatever.
Okay, so Nami. Is this B plus? Is this B?
I don't know if it's a B plus or an A tier deck, but I'm leaning towards B plus because I basically never lose to it.
I think it's better than Shanks. Like I think it's better than Shanks.
I can get behind best B plus tier deck.
Yeah.
You will play against it at regionals almost guaranteed because it's another one of those decks, but you will definitely beat blue yellow Nami more than you will beat mono blue Nami, in my opinion.
Yes, that is fair.
Is this red yellow Sabu?
No, that's red dragon. Red yellow Sabo is one of the black and white ones.
Here.
Yeah.
All right, where do you guys rank Sabu? I know it's getting a lot of tools in OB12. OP12.
Yeah, it's a locals deck.
You think it's here?
Yeah.
Okay. That's surprising.
I think
we
in terms of the three brothers as well, I think Ace is actually better than people give it credit for.
The red one?
No, the blue yellow Ace after the EB cards. It's probably. I honestly think it's probably the same level as Sabo. Like I don't think it's that much worse than it.
I guess my question is, what do you guys feel about?
This is yellow black Luffy, right?
That's black yellow Luffy, yeah.
Where do you guys feel about yellow black?
I think all three brothers are like a locals tier level decks now.
This one too?
You can win. Yep, that's Ace. How do you guys feel about Kobe? Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Is Kobe can top locals deck? Is it better than that? Is it worse?
I think it can top locals. It's just a little bit too squishy for my liking.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the decks above it, I feel like the decks above it should pretty consistently beat Kobe. I'm not saying Kobe can't beat those decks.
Yeah.
But I'd fancy my chances if I was playing essentially most of those decks above it.
Okay. Where about Shirhoshi? Is it fun? Locals?
Yeah.
It's definitely not don't touch.
No, it's locals. You can play some good cards. It's a Hody Jones deck. It can't be that bad.
True.
And the Jinbei in that deck is crazy hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Jinbei? Is that the
locals
green?
Yeah. I think if you're going to play a green leader, Carrot's definitely a little bit better than Jinbei right now. But I like Jinbei.
I think the rest of these, I think we addressed all of the hyper competitive ones.
Yeah, I think so.
So I guess we'll just go down the list. Odin, you're thinking it's more of a fun?
Yeah, it's a fun rogue deck.
What the heck is this guy?
That's red-green Odin.
Oh, that's more locals.
Probably locals.
I honestly think it may be, but yeah, it's probably fine.
Oh, you think it's higher than that?
No, I was even thinking maybe it's even lower.
Nah.
I think it's definitely better than these decks. You could probably build a competitive list and play at your locals and go.
I mean, I would put Garp in the don't touch tier, but that's me. But we have some people with a fondness for Garp, and I'll forgive them. It's fine.
Green, red, Chopper.
It's just fun rogue. It's like if you want to play green red Chopper, it's like you could just play green red Luffy. It's right there, and it's a little better.
This one? Really?
If you want to play a red-green animal deck, like you want to play the red-green all choppers deck, it's like almost always better to play the Luffy rather than the chopper.
I mean, yeah, red-green was definitely animals. I played it, and it was fun. The little synergies you do have where you can make something unblockable and then pump it by 6 and then just smack and untap it, smack again. It was kind of fun, but I don't necessarily know. I don't know. These two probably interchangeable.
I think the Luffy's definitely a little bit better, but
blue, purple,
Don't touch.
Sucks.
Smiley,
yeah, very
Smiley
bad.
was fun. I gotta shout that out, but it's probably
Wow.
it's
Dude,
not-
I want this card to be good so bad, but it just isn't.
Yeah.
Way too hard to use.
We'll put him at the top. He can walk, even cough.
Probably Fun Rogue.
But yeah, also kind of sucks.
I don't know its ability.
I do not recommend new players to play this deck because being at 0 cards in hand is just not fun.
All right.
Yeah.
It's an ace stack. Red ace.
Yeah, that's like locals level, I think.
Don't know who this is.
Kuro.
That's Kuro, Fun Rogue.
Yeah.
This one should be the
Iceberg is don't touch.
Yeah.
I want it to be fun. I want it to be Fun Rogue. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Arlong's
Arlong?
Fun Rogue though.
I think it's locals. Arlong?
I guess. I still don't like it. It's fine.
I think it's better than Jinbei.
I don't.
I
but
faced it multiple times. It is definitely, in my opinion, it looks better than Jinbei. That's just me. I mean, what do you think? It still also plays Hody Jones.
Yeah, I've definitely had more success with Jinbei than with Arlong, but I'm just not a big fan of glass cannon decks in general, and it's like that's what that deck is.
What about? I don't know which.
I think this is a fun
Big
rogue
Mom.
deck. It's black, yellow, Big Mom. I've had some fun lists.
This is Lucci, right? The bad one.
Yeah, don't
it
play
fun?
it.
It's not.
I top 8'd Eggman tournament with that deck, but you can't play it now. That was in set 3, set 4.
What about her?
Fifi, probably Fun Rogue.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody like kind of pop off on it, but it's not like a deck.
Don't play Isho. Do not play Isho. Zero reason to play Isho.
What about Rebecca?
I think it's a locals level deck. It can be pretty good, but you have to be good with it. Don't play Queen.
Don't play
Queen
Queen.
sucks.
Plenty of
Literally
other
just play an L. Even if you put an entire cheap bag of awful cards in an L, it'll be better than the most expensive Queen deck.
What about Nico Robin?
Nico Robin. Locals,
C.
probably.
It's at least C.
I guess-
B.
Locals.
it's
Funnily enough, it's better than Pudding.
Pudding.
Pudding's fun rogue. Pudding has one of the worst win rates of any deck that they tracked on the sim. It's like 30%.
What about Sugar? And while you're playing it, I'm pretty sure you could smash the System of a Down song. Sugar.
Oh, I've never played it. You've played this deck, Steven. How terrible is it? Is it bad or god awful?
It's probably locals because I think if you're against people who don't read the effect and you get a ramp for free because they swing, it's like fine. It's probably locals.
Okay.
Red Black Sabu.
Fun rogue, just barely not troll.
Link is Croc.
This is the better. I've understood.
No, that's the terrible Uta. Don't touch that one.
The red,
Really?
No, the red purple one's like
I thought the red purple is better than red.
Fun Rogue. Yeah, the red the red
One
deck
I
is
heard it was
fun
horrible.
Yeah, but I still it's probably fun Rogue.
I think you will literally win more games playing vanillas and attacking with them than you will playing a red purple Uta deck. But that's my take.
It's a ramp for a card. That's fine.
Well, it's more about fun,
Hody
right?
Jones sucks. Hody Jones
No
sucks
fun.
for sure.
No fun there.
Yeah.
This one's at least C, right?
Yeah.
Is she a B?
Like
I haven't
top
tested
of
this.
C.
Yeah.
Not better than Garb. Okay.
Damn, the GARP bias is real. We got a GARP defender.
Yes.
Oppression defender in the chat. Man, have you guys seen any of the like memes and stuff coming out about like GARP?
The real thing is, why isn't there another Garb leader?
I don't know. I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. They've just been making a bunch of memes about Garp doing why doesn't Garp call his move the oppression impact since he seems to love working for the Celestial Dragons or whatever. That was a meme video.
Green Uda.
It's like a locals of a deck, I think, or fun rogue.
It's probably a little bit better than most local decks.
Is it better
Yeah.
than Carrot?
Probably
No.
not.
Sanji.
but not a lot worse.
Sanji's at least locals for Sanji
Yep.
fit.
Yep.
He fits right here. Probably better than the
Yeah,
Udo.
that's fine. I think Lakers Croc is a locals deck, at least the leftmost one.
Yeah. I agree.
Lakers.
It's purple yellow.
Is it fun or is it locals?
It's locals.
It's very locals.
Life gain always good at locals.
I don't know who this is.
Dragons,
Dragon.
Fun Rogue, or Don't Touch. But
Yeah, I'll put
probably
in Fun Rogue.
Yeah, it at least attacks.
Yeah.
That's not
Oh,
a rare.
Fun
Fun
Rogue.
Rogue.
What is this one?
Boa.
Oh, Blue Boa?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's locals.
I don't think it is.
Yeah. Are you gonna win more games with that deck than Perona and Chopper? Probably. Not a lot more, but some more. Kairos is good,
She has to be
right?
better than Garp, which is the
Yeah,
upper tier.
Pudding. Pudding's a good card. My big question is Foxy locals, or can you top locals with Foxy?
I've
What do
seen
you
it.
guys-
top
I've seen
locals.
it. I've seen a decent amount on the sim.
I still think Fox is like pretty underrated, but
Yeah.
I think it can top locals.
It just resting characters is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to a Foxy main in my chat, and he also was like, I thought Foxy kind of was not that great, and then I realized I can play 8-drop Katakuri, and my life changed.
So you think it's B?
I think it's B plus. I think it's B plus.
Yeah, I think it's the worst B plus tier deck, but yeah.
I could play Katakuri and 9-drop Luffy in my deck. It's B
Yes.
plus.
It's like, oh, cool. All of a sudden we're doing stuff.
Okay, the best king.
Don't play King, man. Don't do it.
Fun Rogue.
Fun Rogue.
I
That
would
deck's
not.
really
I would
fun.
say never play King.
All right, the
that's
best
really
deck,
good.
the best leader of all time. Red,
Yeah, the
red, purple law.
Don't
Fixed
touch.
red, purple.
That's the remake Red Purple
Yeah,
Law,
the
not
fixed
even the
one.
real
The
one.
fixed one.
I want this should be like a tier by itself. I think this is the worst leader in the game. I think Promo Law is the worst leader in the game.
One of, yeah. Caesar Clown's a locals deck, though.
Is this Caesar?
Yeah. Alternate
So,
Art
local?
Caesar. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Steven played it. How good is it?
I haven't played it this set. Last set it was like if you high rolled it was actually pretty good. But like the
Yeah.
problem is it's so hard to high roll with that deck.
The easy one, Yamato, don't touch. It's so boring.
Yeah.
What about Black Luffy? I think this is Black Luffy.
No, but that's the terrible Black Luffy. Don't touch
Oh,
that
this
one.
Yeah,
this
the
one.
don't touch.
This
That
is the
one's
good
a
one.
local level deck. Yeah, that one's the one that got the new Garp from OP11.
Yeah,
Sengoku's
so-
hard in it as well. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the one that is rated the worst starter deck of all time.
Yeah, I had like a bunch of vanillas and useless cards.
Yeah, it's full fluff.
Had to do that though, right?
What's this one?
Yeah, that was the one good card in a.
That
That's
is-
the ST21 Luffy.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I
It's better than the other red Luffy.
was actually thinking maybe
Better than Dragon for
I
sure.
want to say it's close to regionals, but like it's worse than
It's worse than
Zoro. It's
Sanji.
worse than Whitebeard. So I think can top locals. I think it's at least B plus.
It's worse than Sanji. Sanji's right here.
I don't think it's worse.
Is
than
it?
Sanji.
No, I think it's a little better than Sanji.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it would be locals because it is a newer starter deck and it has a lot of good cards in it, so people might play it. But I wouldn't have thought it'd be B plus. Like,
You can do 100. I think this can definitely win locals.
Yeah.
Like it's
There was-
pretty good.
There was some deck that I was testing recently, and I was like, oh man, I could have fun playing this deck. And then I just kept playing it up against that Luffy, and I just could never win. I think I was literally trying to play Yamato, and I was trying to play against this freaking mono red Luffy, and I was just getting my face pushed in.
I don't know who this
It's-
is.
Don't touch.
Yeah, it's the
Promo.
vanilla Uta.
Yeah.
Okay. Blue Luffy. Is it fun? Or
Don't
is it
touch.
don't touch.
Yeah, no, it's worse than a lot of other blue leaders. There's no
Significantly
reason to
worse
play
than
it instead of Boa.
Red, probably don't touch.
Yeah.
Because why play
Yeah.
this when you have this one?
Yeah, and definitely why play that when you have Dragon? It's like,
Yeah.
Uh,
Sakazuki, don't touch.
yeah, terrible.
Green Kid.
It's like a fun rogue deck.
Fun Rogue.
Yeah.
What about blue Croc?
Don't play that card.
Purple Kaido.
Locals, big tier.
Really?
I would say don't touch and just push King up one, because if you want to play a mono purple, if you want to play a mono purple Animal Kingdom deck, I literally think King is better than Kaido.
I think Kaido's better than King.
Minusing it.
I mean, we're arguing over a pretty bad deck here, but
Yeah.
just put it in don't touch.
7 Dawn is just so much.
Yeah, there's no reason to play those mono purple decks when Luffy exists.
What about mono yellow Big Maw?
Don't play that deck.
Red Purple Kid.
It's a fun rogue deck. I constantly see people trying to play it, but
Whatever this is.
Black Sakazuki starter
the
deck.
starter deck, don't play that deck.
And this one, which is green.
Zoro Sanji?
Green blue Sanji Zoro. It's at least
I think I think that's locals or can top locals, because there's still some pretty good combos
I've
with
seen
it.
the deck, and it does. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. It's definitely fun. I can't ever put it in don't touch.
I think it's locals.
There's some kind of combo with, there's an extra booster 2 card that no one ever thinks about, but I think it's like there's an extra booster 2 Usopp that lets you play a vanilla character for free off of it. And there's some way that they can cheat the Usopp into play, and you get to play a bunch of like vanilla 2Ks. You get to play a bunch of vanilla Straw Hats off of it and keep bouncing the Usopp and cheating a bunch of stuff into play. So I think it's locals or can top locals, but
The only one that may be questionable is this is yellow black.
nah, that card sucks.
Does it suck or is it at least fun?
It's very bad.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Some of these we already kind of pre-done, like Film, Shanks, and Impel Down. These guys are just bad. But this one's the one I thought could maybe be moved to fun. I don't know if it is fun. So
Way
that's
too squishy.
So now after looking at the list, you guys see anything that you guys want to move up, down, adjust the ranking from left to right? We actually got through that pretty quick. 48 minutes into the actual.
Yeah, I mean, there's like some things. I think if anything, we could just talk about like the top section, right? The only question is if there's anything else that could or should be an A or above, like that's the main question, because A and above is what you should be playing if you want to win any prizes, right? Like if you're entering a tournament and you want to come home and take prizes and you're not purely just there for fun, you should be playing an A tier above deck, right? To give yourself the best chances to get there.
Yeah, so I would think that we basically look up at B and up. The only one I could see maybe there is Yami and Shanks.
Some of the B plus decks you could maybe top 64 with, but
I think Nami is still a pretty. Nami will be at least A tier, but I think it's kind of almost dragged down because of like how many people play it, if you know what I mean.
And also doesn't have Odin yet.
And especially how many people play it poorly, because the secret of Nami is that it's secretly an aggro deck. And it's like an aggro deck that wins the race because it's a 7k leader on defense. But you really need to be like getting some kind of board state and putting pressure on them. And too many people dirtle around with the deck, definitely. It's like, yeah, the 3 decks that I'm tempted to knock up a tier is Nami, which we can probably leave where it is the best B plus tier deck. And I do actually really like Gecko and Kalgara. Those are the 2 decks that I'm not sure about. Like,
I honestly think if you're looking to go to regionals, I think even if you go everywhere up to Lim,
I don't even think, but so the question with the regionals is that the decks that you're most likely to see at regionals.
It's like decks that would still do pretty well.
No, to me, the A tier,
about it. It's like you're more likely to see maybe a lot of Shanks players.
Yeah,
at regionals.
To me, A tier is like your A tier decks. You have a chance of getting a prize card from entering a tournament, right? That's top 64 in a 500-man tournament or top 128 in a 1,000-man tournament. And then
Yeah.
like A plus and above are decks you're gonna see in top 8s and top 16s pretty
I think
regularly.
I think with that logic, I actually wouldn't mind moving Lim up to A tier. I think if you take Lim, you can definitely go like X3, X4 with Lim.
Yeah, kind of like that's my argument about Gecko too, because like the thing that the format is kind of about is like the format is almost entirely around one of two things. Either you're a Luffy deck using Gum Gum Giant, or you need to be a deck that kind of leans aggressive and is able to make 6K swings frequently, right? Like you kind of have to be doing one of those two things. And the only exceptions to that are kind of Lucci and Nami because they just completely do their own thing. And that's kind of why I like Gecko, Lim, and Kalgar, and I guess to some degree Purple Katakuri as well, because like Gecko is so good at just getting a whole bunch of 6K swings in consistently, especially now that you can play 4 copies of a pretty decent 4/6, like the vanilla stat line with a pretty decent effect. It's a Ryuma that gives itself double strike or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I'd be happy moving all 3. Luffy, Gecko, Kalgara, and Lim.
Yeah. The Purple Katakuri I'm still not the biggest fan of, just because like it feels like you have to play the event searcher to be able to hit your 8-drop Katakuri and Perosporos often enough, and that just like is risky in terms of overall counterless cards. I think Gecko and Kalgara I would move up, but Lim I'm still okay to pass on. It's a little
Okay. I think
a little
Lim definitely
fragile
could,
now.
I'm happy to say. Well, it's more. I think in 10 rounds, if you go first 5 times with Lim, I think you probably get 5 wins.
Yeah.
So I'm probably happy with it being in B plus.
Yeah. I mean, Gecko is like my sleeper pick for a deck that kind of like is nice because it's pretty consistent at doing its thing now, where you just like have a whole bunch of Thriller Bark cards and you just try and activate Leader Effect every single turn to get a body.
I don't think it would fit in under A, because I think A, the difference between A and B plus is more of how much of it will show up in any given regional. And not only are they performing well, but are you expecting to see at least 10 Geckos?
No, if that's the metric, then I guess we would only lift up Kalgara, because you're going to see some Kalgaras and you're probably going to lose to it just because it is such a fan favorite and has a very high profile like one trick in Orange Samurai D, who like gives free advertising for the deck every week.
I think ultimately they're fine where they are, because we're having so much discussion, like almost humming and hawing if it's a regional deck. There's no one deck that stands out and say, yes, I want that in regionals. Like with my heart, they all have clear weaknesses. Shanks.
Yeah,
like I think they're fine where they are.
Yeah. The only I would
it definitely feels like every deck in B plus now has very clear weaknesses, and so maybe it's fine. I mean, yeah. I guess then to kind of cap up is like, how do you guys feel about the format, about this tier list? Like, is there enough variation in it? And like, I guess the question that's on everybody's mind is, how necessary is the Gum Gum Giant ban? Do we need it now? Do we need it later? Does it make this format better, or is there a small chance it actually makes it worse?
4 out of the top 6 are purple Luffy's.
Yes, purple Luffy.
So,
I think it should be banned. It's just it's too good. It's just too good.
Yeah.
Like purple cards in general are really strong right now, and the fact that so many times someone will swing like 8K into you late game, and it's like, well, I'm not even going to lose a single resource, and you've swung 8K at me. Yeah, that just feels horrible when you're the person swinging like 8K with like. maybe as you've put 3 Dawn in your leader, you're spying 8k for 3 Dawn, you get literally nothing, and it's like, how is that a thing? Like, it just doesn't quite make sense. And then, if anything, it feels bad because even not even like against Snake Man, but just giving the free kind of hand cycle, it's literally free for them. It's like, I've committed 3 Dawn, and I've helped them fix their hand. It's like, how is that ever like a thing? I would love it if they limited it to 1. I think that's probably the most fair. It's not like super broken. It's not like, it's not Ice Age. It's not Great Eruption. It's not Gecko Maria levels of like meta defining. It's more that the rest of the purple cards are really strong alongside it. Yeah. And this card's just like random free value for no real reason.
So comments. Let us know down below if next month you want us to do a power ranking on the the assuming that if Gum Gum Giant got banned, this would be the updated leaders. Because I'm kind of curious how that's going to actually pan out if we did that next month. If we do, because maybe Katakuri or Lim becomes the best black purple deck. That would be more of like how does purple get shooken up if the Gum Gum Giant was banned? How would the power rankings look then? So let us know in the comment section if you guys want us to do that.
The more I think about it and the more I look at the tier list, I'm wondering if banning Gum Gum Giant would even change that much. It just like the fundamental strategies of all the decks doesn't really change that much. It just like cuts a few points of win percentage off all of the Luffy decks because they don't just get like free late game wins.
Hear me out. If that happened, boom.
I think Grape probably gets hit. I think Grape probably gets hurt the most because it runs so many bricks in that deck that the hand cycle really, really hurts it, which I think's what you want. I think Purple Luffy is probably in the same thing. It just makes the deck building a lot more tighter, and it'll stop those kind of random games that they shouldn't win, but it gets saved by Gum Gum Giant. When like the strongest decks in the format also kind of get these, it's probably pretty healthy for the game overall.
Honestly, yeah. I'm actually, you think I'm joking, but I kind of think that maybe actually would be semi-accurate. I think Yamato would basically be able to actually really fight if Gum Gum Giant was actually banned. Yeah. They probably would actually have a favorite matchup into all the purple decks.
Yamato would definitely be one of the decks that gains the most from the Gum Gum Giant ban for sure. I think
it literally would be just a the fun fan favorite to being actually probably S tier.
I mean, I feel like a lot of the purple Luffy decks would just swap to playing 4 copies of the 0 cost event, right? Which is like
Gatling,
clearly way worse, but still good in a lot of situations.
It was kind of weird. I mean, it can be actually kind of better in some regard, because I didn't realize that the trigger effect was literally ramp.
Yeah, the only situation where it helps you is the ramp trigger,
Yeah, it's like, man, I didn't realize that. That is literally just a free ramp spell sometimes. Yeah, let us know in the comment section if you guys want us to do a tier list on the assumption that Gum Gum Giant gets banned. Because that would be an interesting caveat and change. So we're still maybe under pressure. Maybe these 4 purple Luffy decks would still be top tier, and it might be just because there's so much search, Straw Hats, support in general more than other pirate types.
The one that loses the most is probably green purple, but the one that loses the least is mono purple. Like mono purple will still 100% be fine post Gum Gum Giant.
Probably.
I think blue purple will get hit quite a bit because it does really depend on Gum Gum Giant to stay alive with that last having no more life left. Like it can literally get down to having no life, and Gum Gum saves them. It's enough for Sanji plus Katakuri, and then it just kind of snowballs. It just
they're doing 9 drop plus hold up Gum Gum Giant every turn, right?
Yeah. So it could very much hit this win percentage to the point where it might be dropping down to A+ or A. But so is there any other discussions you guys want to have? the one I guess would be debatable is Marco really an A or was it a B plus?
Marco is the best animal chopper deck outside of Zoro. And that card is just very good in the meta game right now. Like Zoro's win percentage against so many decks is very, very high because it's the combination of, many 6K swings, like go wide 6K swings plus a decent removal spell. So it's like Marco is still the same thing as Zoro, kind of, where you're doing like animal chopper plus mole gun, except you make your animal choppers a little worse, but you make your mole guns a little better. That's kind of the trade-off between the two decks.
So I guess I should probably just split these up on the A tier. I feel like the left,
that looks good to me.
The left side are going to be the ones that actually can win at
Yep.
regionals. Yamato is one that you need to be prepared for because you're probably going to see a decent number of them show up, but it doesn't mean they're going to be playable. So the right side of regionals, I would assume, are ones that you expect you need to be prepared for because they will be there at the regionals, most likely. But the left side is the ones that we think can win at regionals, along with these decks up here, of course. These decks can beat at regionals, too.
Yeah, I think overall, I think the game is in a pretty healthy spot compared to a lot of other card games I've played, right? Like there is definitely a card that needs to be banned in the meta, but we're nowhere near a like tier 0 meta, I guess. It's like you could say that Gum Gum Giant is tier 0, but that encapsulates like 5 decks, all of which play very differently and have very different matchups against different decks.
Yeah.
Right? Like I guess the only exception to that is Bello Betty, which has a good matchup against Purple Luffy no matter what, but that's just
I guess you can make the argument maybe it's not that oppressive if it can't lift up Purple Red to the point of being competitive and viable.
I think Purple Red's only that far down because of how strong the other Luffy decks are.
Yeah. But if Gum Gum was still good, then this would be under it could top locals. But we have it under locals.
Honestly, if I was even in like A tier, I wouldn't blink an eye. I think that'll be fine. But like, it's so noticeably worse than the other Luffy decks that I don't think I wanted an A tier.
No, it's just so much more fragile. I mean, his argument still applies to like Nico Robin too, right? It's like not. Yeah. You need to be doing something good that Gum Gum Giant helps you do, right? And if your deck isn't already like strong, then Gum Gum Giant doesn't do the same turbocharging.
Yeah, Nico Robin's actually was never really a bad deck. She just, and I like the fact that she
it's fine.
Yeah. She does do a decent job at ramping herself, but it's a little weird that she basically is someone that incentivizes you to basically not really commit anymore to the board until like turn 3 or 4 because you're attacking with her to get the banish while also ramping. So it's like she's a little weird in that spot. She doesn't promote healthy, migration to your board states until like turn 5.
We're just in a meta where like playing 10 drops every turn is not a reasonable strategy for victory. It's not really like you can't rely on playing 1 10 drop every turn to be enough to win. And I don't.
Your opponent is dropping 18 Dawn worth of characters every turn.
Yeah, with whether that be with Sanji or whether that be with Green Purple Luffy doing Sanji pudding to get like 4 or 5 extra Dawn a turn, right? Or even just like, it's kind of funny that like a lot of 10 drops right now are just worse than playing 2 5s.
Mm-hmm. Right? Like Luffy Taro into Sangoro is like still like pretty solid.
Yeah, better than a 10 drop. And
I'm actually trying blue oil Luffy with Luffy Taro now because it's basically a purple deck anyways. And then VV Theory had it where he was using Luffy Taro cheating in a Sanji and pudding.
Yeah.
In oil Luffy.
I think there's a tiny chance that we should explore like Black Purple Luffy, but with some kind of Big Mom package. Because you have 8-drop Katakuri, you can play the 3-cost pudding that gets you a Dawn back whenever you Dawn minus, and you can also do Sanji pudding.
On my next stream, I'm going to be trying out 2 copies of that pudding.
The 3-drop?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try 2 copies.
I think at that stage, Katakuri is just better now.
If
you're not really strike researchers,
I think it's close, but I'm just wondering, like, what would it be like to play Katakuri, but with Beer Luffy in it, you know?
I kind of get you.
But you can't really play it with this one.
No.
No, but I'm saying, like, you take the Katakuri deck list and you copy it over to Black Purple Luffy, make a few changes for the leader locked cards, and, you know, add Beer Luffy.
Sadly, I wish there was more purple Big Mom.
It definitely does suck a little bit that it feels like the entire purple color has been consumed by Straw Hat. Like, there's just no reason to, or there's very little reason to play other purple cards except Straw Hat cards. The only exception really is 8-drop Katakuri, right? Like,
and honestly, her in general has kind of gotten shafted in this game. She's one of the most iconic big figures in the actual show. But Big Mom, she's here. Her best one's Fun Rogue?
Yeah, there's no good Big Mom leader, and most of the Big Mom cards aren't that great either, or they haven't been in a long time.
How is she, one of the most biggest villains in the entire show, not have a good card? It seems like she should. I
mean, the cards are fine. They're just not like meta warping or whatever, right? Like 6-drop Big Mom's fine, 7-drop Big Mom's fine, 10-drop Big Mom's fine, but
I think they should just print a very good purple yellow Big Mom.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see.
Because then she gets all the best cards from Katakuri. She gets the best cards from, she basically would be a great replacement for this bad pudding.
Yeah, the pudding.
Yeah, I think that's something that they really should work towards in this game.
Would be nice. They have a bunch of leaders they're working towards, right? Everybody's hyped because it looks like there's going to be a Gold Roger leader and potentially even an Emu leader, which will be really interesting. 7K leader is going to be weird. I have no idea how they're going to balance that. I assume there's going to be some drawback or something.
Must be giant drawback. I'm really interested to see what's going to see.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of weird. So I guess, would they also give us a Rocks leader?
Maybe. I guess that might happen soon because it looks like we're going to get to Rocks in the manga relatively soon. We're flashing back to the age when Rocks was a pirate, but
that would be kind of cool. And see a young Big Mom, see a young
Rocks I feel like is a 2026, 2027 type of card maybe.
I think that would be cool to see a young Kaido too.
Yeah, there's so many things that they could still do. Everybody is always talking about like, oh my god, but now we have a leader for basically every faction. But there's still like so many characters in One Piece and so many different eras. Like the nice thing about One Piece is like so many characters you don't see only once, right? You get to see them over multiple different points in their life. So we could have the same thing happen in the card game.
And also, I mean, that's also why I think rotation's good too. Because once like an old green kid gets rotated, then you could print a new kid leader, and you're kind of you don't have conflicts with the actual these the characters. It just allows you to keep reprinting or printing new versions of the card, the character as a leader.
But I mean, this is our tier list for now. I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty varied. There's a lot of different things you can do. Obviously, you got to ask yourself, like, is there a reason why I'm not playing a Luffy deck? And if you have one, you can, not play a Luffy deck. But if you're a tryhard, if you're really a grinder, if you really want to, like, secure yourself a cereal, You should probably either play a Luffy deck or Bello Betty, because that really, like, the win rates of Bello Betty against Luffy decks are absurd. And it has some pretty terrible win rates into the other decks, but Bello Betty is definitely the Luffy Slayer, which is funny. So if you're looking to nab yourself a cereal, I would play one of those 5 decks. There's a lot of other options too, but you'll have to let us know.
And I like this because it's also reflected, I guess, how good the meta is, where, like, okay, if you want to play aggro, you have Betty, you have Zoro. If you want to play, like, a more bigger aggro deck, you have Smoker, you have Whitebeard here at the topper part. If you want to play a little bit more control style, you have Blackbeard, you have Bonnie.
Yeah.
So, like, you have that. If you want to play ramp, there's 4 of them for you with the Luffys. If you wanted to play a little bit, also I should say Boogie's probably more like go big aggro too. So it would probably be under the category of Smoker, Whitebeard, and Boogie.
Yep.
So, like, then if you want to play like control, you have Enel. If you wanted to play
Lucci,
hard decks,
like,
if you want to get really grindy and learn a deck to the front to back to become a really good player, you have Smoker, the Smoke group.
Reiju.
Yeah, Reiju,
Reiju,
and
Law, and like Nami.
So, like, there's just, and Usopp also is kind of like a mid-range control list that's harder to pilot. So, like, you could really get your foot wet and learn a very hard deck, a very simple deck to get in the game and compete with the Luffy's.
I think definitely our most controversial take on this tier list is Usopp over Nami and Yamato, but I don't know.
High roll Usopp is still crazy good. Like,
yeah, I think Usopp.
I think this should be here. I think that's fair. It's at the
I mean, you're gonna play against Blue Yellow Nami at regionals, but it's not a deck that I'm ever really like scared of when I sit down against the table.
Yeah,
especially with
Shanks, right? It's like just because of how popular it is. Like,
so many of the decks are playing some really terrible cards.
I would have had probably like this.
Nah, Shanks is so bad right now.
But you still need to be prepared. You need to make sure your deck can address it if you face it, because it will be there and you will have to face it. Probably.
Nah.
At least
if you play against the Shanks, I would be surprised. You're gonna play against significantly more Kalgaras than you are Shankses.
I think every Luffy deck beats Shanks.
Yep.
Bello Betty is probably not terrible against it either.
I thought it actually got better. It beats Oil Luffy. It beats Purple Luffy. Yeah, I thought it bridged the gap. It actually does.
I would love to see how many games that is out of.
Exactly.
That will not be a big sample size.
Because I believe I played Purple Luffy for a video recently, and I got hosed by Shanks.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's not saying much. I'm not experiencing as good player as these two. But, I have been getting better. Like, I haven't actually been getting at least 50% win rates. So I'm not an embarrassment anymore.
Is Shanks better than Blue Yellow Nami? Probably. But there's going to be like 3 times as many copies of Blue Yellow Nami in any tournament than Shanks.
I think what Shanks is probably going to be, the deciding factor actually is that new Shanks. That new Shank actually is pretty good getting into purple.
Only the decks that play Katakuri.
Katakuri. I mean, it even counts for, your big Luffy's.
It's like fine. I don't think it's ever more than a 2 of though.
Yeah, it's not more than a 2 of, but it boosting your Shanks to a 2K or 7,000 for I believe until your next turn is actually quite potent. It kind of
the problem is then that they have a character of 8,000 power and all.
Exactly.
So like, even with leader effect, you're leader affecting and still removing a card.
Yep.
Like a very specific game state where like your leader's still just 7k and they have an 8k leader. They have an 8k character. The only one I've seen that's even good against was really good was Boogie when if they cheat out the boot Boogie and that's an 8k dude, then you can kind of do something, but it's still not great. Not great.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy with it.
All right, so let's go ahead and get out into the closing. Let's start off with Mr. Steve.
Yeah, I will be trying to play more One Piece this week. I didn't necessarily take a break. I just got really addicted to Rematch, which I absolutely love that game.
Yeah, that's funny. Laura came into my chat and was like, he's addicted to some sports game.
Yeah, I was.
I don't know
Impressed,
if I'll
dude. I
even
was
see him at
impressed,
local
man.
today.
I haven't seen you all week, and I was like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got. I have like 45, 50 hours on that game already this week. But
Yeah, damn.
I've got my homework. I need to build purple katakuri, so
Yeah.
I'll be around. I'll be around this week on probably live on Twitch. I might be try and make some YouTube videos as well. My Twitch is It's Not Steven Zero. Definitely feel free to come in and flame my tier list recommendations.
Yep.
But yeah, that's me for this week. What about you, Dead Half Breed?
I'm gonna be looking forward to playing some decks too. I still feel like I gotta keep giving Smoker a try, but at the same time, or maybe I just admit it's not me. It's not a deck for me, and I move on to something else. But I think I'll probably try picking up some Usopp. But I've been really trying to put more stuff on my YouTube channel at that half read on YouTube. I've been trying to do deck breakdowns and cut out more gameplay from my streams and stuff. So obviously follow me there on YouTube, and then I'm on that half breed on Twitch as well. And yeah, what about you, Kebby? What are you up to this week?
So I'm gonna try to start getting back into streaming on Sundays. Of course, we've been doing the podcast, and normally that's around the time I usually try to get about a 2-hour stream in. So this technically would be yesterday. I will be trying to stream since I got my recordings done for Sunday night. I'm gonna be streaming that night, but I get back into rhythm there and figure out how I can get back to 3 days a week for streaming. But overall, don't forget the links to all of our channels are in the description. Go check out all of us, subscribe, and like this video, comment, share this video, comment like questions. We definitely would like to get some more questions going, and all that down below. And we'll talk to you guys next week, where we'll be covering for our end of the month. The goal is to try to get it to where we're going to break down, look at some cards that have been on the dip or on the increase based on market value. So it's going to be a little bit different.
Watch time.
Yeah, so that's the goal of the last stream or the last podcast of the month. We're going to try to get it to be where it's the market watch, unless for some reason
market watch, pocket watch time. Who's been making the money moves, the big plays?
The only time that might not occur is we might push it off 1 week if like a new set drops. That in that last podcast week, we'll be talking about the new set, top like that. We'll try to fit it in at least once a month.